Welcome back, Meeting Makers. I'm your host, Lauren Green, meeting coach and facilitation trainer, here to help you unsuck your meetings one episode at a time. I've helped hundreds of professionals and organizations through leading inclusive, engaging, and productive meetings, and now I'm offering this podcast to help you do the same. Season 4 is all about high-performing teams and how you can build your way to high performance through meetings. This series of episodes is geared towards project managers and team leads who want to bring their team through a collaborative and strategic process. And if you're not a team leader or project manager, you can still listen and share any episodes you find valuable with members of your team or organization. Over the years I've been facilitating, I often use the same types of activities over and over. In this season, we've codified a suite of agendas and companion templates that you can use or modify. You can use them in order, or you can pick and choose which episodes represent the meetings that you're trying to plan. A key success factor as you start to design more advanced meetings is realizing that agenda design is an art, not a science. The best agenda I design is the one I do in my head after the meeting is over, meaning that you often don't know what will work best until you see how a group reacts to it. I say that not to scare you, but to acknowledge that your agendas do not have to be perfect. Try out some of these tools and see how they work for you. To be a good meeting leader, you have to be okay with things not working out the way you expect them to and learning from the experience. So let's talk about how this season is organized. I designed the MeetingMakers Framework as a way of helping teams and organizations consider where they are in their journey and choose a type of meeting accordingly. Each episode in this season breaks down a meeting from one of the 6 phases in our framework, geared towards team meetings to support the development of a high-performing team. The agendas can be used as is by project managers or team leads of small or mid-sized teams. But if you're an organization leader trying to build a high-performing organization or a facilitator designing for more than 25 people, these agendas will need to be modified to accommodate a different focus and group size. Since we covered tips on meeting planning extensively in Season 1, we are not going to reboot all that content here. But if you are needing some help figuring out things like who to invite and how to prepare, check out Season 1, Just-in-Time Meeting Skills, and then come back to this season. Unlike past seasons, we will only be releasing one episode a month on the last Monday of that month. If you are listening in 2025, there's a chance that the season is still underway. If you want to know as soon as a new episode, agenda, and template package becomes available, follow us on your favorite listening platform and join our This Meeting Sucks email list using the link in the description. Before we break down our framework, let's talk about what we mean when we say a high-performing team. John Katzenbach and Douglas Smith, co-authors of The Wisdom of Teams, define a team as a small number of people with complementary skills who are committed to a common purpose, performance goals, and approach for which they hold themselves mutually accountable. In short, a team is a team when they have shared leadership, a common goal, and need the skills of each member of the team in order to reach it. Our framework merges some of the models we use all the time. The first is Marvin Weisbord and Sandra Janoff's Future Search model. Future Search is a conference model that, in its true form, takes 2.5 days to complete. We use it as a framework to better understand how strategic planning works and where goal setting sits as a part of a larger process. Put simply, Future Search moves through past, present, future, and action. First, you look at what happened in the past to consider lessons learned, opportunities, and things you want to carry forward. Then, you spend time in the present, analyzing current trends both internally and externally, before looking to the future and creating new strategies and goals. The second model that inspired our framework is the Drexler-Sibbitt Team Performance Model. This model provides a structured framework for understanding and improving team performance. It outlines 7 stages that help teams grow, overcome challenges, and achieve sustainable success. The stages of this model are orientation, trust building, goal clarification, commitment, implementation, high performance, and renewal. Our framework incorporates 6 team stages influenced by the Drexler-Sibbett model, and within that, a past, present, future action sequence of strategic planning. The stages we include are initiating a team or project, building trust, aligning, which includes aligning on the past, present, customer/user, and process, envisioning the future, mapping the way forward, and performing and learning. Now, let's break down this season by each stage. In episode 2, the longest episode in this season, we start with initiating a team or project. This episode, out now, includes not 1, but 2 full meeting templates, one for a project kickoff where the team leader can walk through all of the key information a team needs to get started, as well as a 2-day meeting for building a team charter, where the team lays out their roles and how they will work together. The goal of this stage of our framework is to achieve full clarity around the project or team's purpose, so they can move forward on the same page. When this doesn't happen, there can be confusion around roles and responsibilities, risking team members feeling anxious or disheartened. Even if your team or project isn't new, we recommend revisiting this stage whenever there is a significant change to the makeup of a team, such as team members leaving or joining, or a change in leadership. These meetings are a great way to onboard new team members to an existing team or prepare a team for new leadership or direction. In episode 3, we move to building trust. Trust is the foundation in Patrick Lencioni's 5 dysfunctions of a team model. When team members lack trust, they hesitate to engage in healthy conflict, commit to shared decisions, hold each other accountable, and deliver results. The goal of this stage is for team members to develop a deep understanding of each other's individual needs and preferences. Without a bit of trust building, there is a high risk of interpersonal conflict and discomfort expressing opinions or concerns. Some conflict on a team is good because it promotes weighing diverse perspectives. But without established trust, the team may struggle to make conflict constructive. With the team initiated and trust built, we move on to the next stage, aligning, which we've broken down further into not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 episodes. And this is where the future search model comes in. Episode 4 is aligning on the past. Episode 5 is aligning on the present. Episode 6 is aligning on customers. And episode 7 is aligning on process. These 4 episodes are all about coming to terms with where you've been and where you are. And when done well, there is enthusiasm and readiness for the future. But when it's missed, you might observe reactive rather than proactive behavior and unforeseen challenges disrupting progress. Think about a big change or challenge that you've been through. Maybe a breakup, getting let go of a job, or losing a pet. Were you ready to jump into the next relationship, update a resume, or go to the adoption center right away? Teams are no different. When a team leader comes to me and says, "We need to do goal setting," the first question I have is the team ready? Teams cannot do their best thinking about the future until they have dealt with where they've been and where they are. Looking to the past as a team is an important step for growth and development, somewhat like working with a therapist. In episode 4, Aligning on the Past, we will lead you through a history mapping activity, which is a powerful tool for helping teams understand where they've been and process events in a constructive way. The next question I ask is, does this team have a good understanding of where they are, what's working, what's not working, and what current industry or internal trends there are? If you've ever done a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, that is a perfect example of an aligning on the present tool, and we're going to cover it in episode 5. episodes 6 and 7, aligning on customers and aligning on process, are bridges into the future conversation. Understanding your customers, or whomever a team serves, is sort of like the great equalizer. If a team is experiencing a lot of conflict, it can be helpful to remind them of what they have in common, which is serving the same group of people. In episode 6, we will give you the tools to do just that. Aligning on process helps a team consider how the pieces of their work fit together, where there might be issues, and how they can resolve those issues together. In his book, The Primes, Chris McGough talks about the importance of stepping out of being in the business every now and then to working on the business. He illustrates this with the court versus locker room metaphor from basketball. In sports, teams are oriented to aligning on their plays in the locker room before executing them on the court. If the team didn't have this time, you'd probably see a lot of confused players all doing the same thing, and your March Madness bracket would suffer. So episode 7 will help you align your plays to perform better on the court. But let's say you've done some of the alignment exercises covered in episodes 4 through 7. The next step is to envision the future by establishing a clear vision and mission. The goal of envisioning the future, covered in episode 8, is to develop a focused direction around new possibilities or desired changes. Without this, teams may feel like their work has no meaning or purpose, and solutions lack creativity and newness. This is the perfect thing to do once a team has established a clear sense of its customers' needs. With a clear direction in place, you can effectively figure out how to get there. In episode 9, we cover Mapping the Way Forward, where we will help your team develop a clear and actionable path forward, giving clarity on how the future becomes a reality. Without this, you might see confusion around how a plan is executed, missed deadlines, resistance to change, or unrealistic expectations. Episode 10, Performing and Learning, includes one way teams can perform and learn, the final step of our framework. For most teams, establishing performance measures is a bit of an eye bleeder, so we've unpacked our process for making measurement design purposeful. Think of the feeling you get when you meet your step goal for the day. That's the type of feeling we want teams to feel regularly when they reach a new milestone. With clear measures, teams can more easily recognize and celebrate success and learn from their shortfalls. Without them, teams may burn out trying to reach overly large targets and miss opportunities to resolve lessons learned. To put it simply, this season is a series of meetings that will help you build a high-performing team. You can tackle the whole series in order or pick and choose which meetings and activities best suit your team. If you're not sure what stage your team is in, you can take our quiz linked in the description to help you determine where to start. Each episode includes a breakdown of the agenda, which you can access with a free membership to Session Lab. You can also purchase a compendium template package for each agenda if you don't want to design them yourselves. We are here for you every step of the way, meeting makers. Remember, meeting work makes the team work, and teamwork makes the dream work. This podcast was written by Lauren Green and produced by Caitlin Murray. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a few seconds to rate and review so future meeting makers can find our community. You can find our next Meeting Makers Academy workshop on our website at www.makemeetings.work/academy. Want help with your next meeting? Reach out at makemeetings.work/contact and we'll set up time to chat.